Okay, so Doug and I just got back from the preview screening of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So, reviews were embargoed until 11 p.m. tonight, so that's why we're dropping it now. They went into quite a lot of detail as to say, like, hey, these movies are better watched at the cinema. They're better seen on a big screen. They're better enjoyed when, spoilers are not put out there into the world and ruin it for everyone. So, uh, Doug and I chatted about this a bunch, like as we were sort of finishing up and leaving the cinema, and then on the drive home and all of that sort of stuff. And we pretty well agreed. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff in this movie, and it's a pretty wild ride, but it's not as sort of trippy as we thought it would be. It's not as like for something that's sort of dealing with like multiverses and all of that sort of stuff. There's still like quite a lot of like psychedelia, and there's a lot of like jumping between worlds and all that sort of stuff, but it's not quite as trippy as we kind of thought it would be. But it's and also I guess we'll sort of say that, like, I mean, at least I did. I really liked two-thirds of this movie. The last third did kind of lose me a little bit, but that said, there's not really a lot of places they could have gone that wasn't where it kind of went. But anyway, uh, so I guess I'll go into not spoiler territory, but um, there's a lot of really fun moments. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of like multiversal variants of people, but I think that is pretty well covered in the trailer anyway. Um, there's some big cheer moments, and there's some real surprises as well. Um, America Chavez is really cool. It's not a character I really knew a lot about from the comic books, so it was kind of cool to actually finally go, oh, okay, that's what America Chavez does. And yeah, so she really becomes the the thing that's kind of drives the movie along. Like, her powers are the thing that sort of drives the movie along. And yeah, it's an emotional one. Like, Doctor Strange definitely goes through the ringer, and Benedict Cumberbatch would have, like, I think, really enjoyed playing a couple of different versions of himself. There's a he would, as an actor, he probably had a lot to really bite down on there, so that's really cool. Um, yeah, it's a different film for the MCU. That's for sure. So, um, I it's definitely we talked about that. it's it kind of it was trying to be an MCU superhero movie, and it was trying to be a horror movie. It was trying to be a sci-fi fantasy movie, and I'm not entirely certain it hit all three. It probably succeeds best when it's doing what the MCU does best, which is a superhero film. Sam Raimi, I don't know if his tone necessarily suits the MCU. And we both talked about we generally love Danny Elfman, but I don't know. We don't know if the tone necessarily hit right on this one, but for the most part, like, it was really easy to it was really easy to understand um, where you were, like, in terms of, you knew that you were on a different universe each time. At no point was it ever not clear, like, what universe you were in. So I think they handled that really well, in the same way that, like, Inception handled that really well. You always knew what level you were on in Inception, and I think they handled that really well. And you knew, which version of Doctor Strange, or which version of what character was which, and you knew where you were at all times, which is really cool. Um, yeah, I can't really go into too much more than that. Other than I think just go and see it for yourself. It's a bit of a mind bender, and it's interesting to see where they're going to go from here, uh, in terms of the MCU.